Pararescue in-dock course. Let's go.
No place like home.
No place like home.
8-year lunch. Catch up with your team, Morgan.
Now, all that stuff by itself is not a big deal, but the problem usually becomes you've been up since 0400, running nonstop. It just starts to wear on you. This is pretty much basic stuff you'll run into in any kind of infantry-style boot camp or training. But it wears on you, and the older you get, if you go to this PJ in-dock course, and you had an injury, it will show up here pretty quick because you're fatiguing your muscles so much that the joints start taking the pounding.
Hurry up, Bluebacker, beat Jones.
Come on, hurry up.
Don't know what I'm doing. Been here for 18 weeks. Still don't know
Crab
what I'm
walking.
doing. Days you'll lead an event, Dean, and I'll pass out. Hit it!
I would say they're moving awfully slow there. You know, a lot of smiles probably for the cameras, right? I don't know what part of training they're in, but, you know, it wears on you. All the crab walk and the down thing, you wouldn't think it's a big deal. Up, down, seat, feet, mountain climbers, make it rain, side straddle hops. That does wear you out. You wouldn't think it would, but try it for 5 minutes.
Your back straight. Getting huge.
Plank.
Right side plank up. Off the ground, Morgan. Nice, what do you... Hill. Other side, go. Hope we got your boogers out, Jones. Faster, Craven. Back. Back.
Yep. Hey, you guys, as soon as you drop them off, grab some empty ones and start heading.
You always hear guys talking about how to train for the military. Here you go. Do actual work. You know, carry something. When you want to drop it, don't drop it. A lot of this stuff you see here is not gym stuff. How do you get trained up for it? Well, all the training you do serves to help with some of these things like pull-ups, grip strength, back strength, running. You know, the core stuff's really become more emphasized, which is great because so many people had back problems. It used to just be sit-ups, but if you don't focus on the low back, that's where most people have their injuries.
We're not building sandcastles here. When we get out of the...
Let's go. I want you to move ahead of...
This low crawling, we'll call it. It doesn't look like a big deal, but all these things start to wear on you, with the point being, hopefully you start developing ability to daydream in the middle of this training. What do I mean by that? Where it doesn't bother you, because all the little things start getting to you. You got chafing between your legs and your crotch. You're tired. You're pushing the can with one arm, holding yourself up with the other. That starts to wear on you. And typically, guys, somebody will just stop, take a break, have a Red Bull, right, or a Monster. You keep doing it, you find either you're going to develop a little scar on your brain so you don't pay attention to this stuff, or you're going to quit.
Getting slicker. Let's go. For your body. The part about it is the guys that haven't been putting out.
Now, something like this, a jerry can, I'm not sure if it's full or not, but just like holding out your M16 in front of you like this. When you hold it out, you go, well, M16, 7.62 pounds, right? Not a big deal. I can hold that out. I lift weights. You hold something out like this jerry can above you for 2 minutes. You're already fatigued. All of a sudden, that becomes heavy very fast.
Like that.
Listen up. Effective immediately.
Gatorade, lucky boy. Bug juice.
All right. The more outstretched your arms are, better it's going.
Assuming that's full.
Here. There's motivation. Yeah, Sergeant. We're lining up 300 men, but scouts and conversions. Okay, how many days did that last?
I've seen guys that don't take care of themselves at night. You know, drink as much water as you can, do whatever is necessary for your body, really start cramping up during these type of exercises and training. So what do I mean? Their back starts cramping, then their hamstrings. And then they almost can't stand like that. In this case, hunched over, holding that jerry can. You very quickly find out there's little stuff that are unique to you as a person. Like some guys just can't stay hydrated. Other guys can drink coffee and use Copenhagen and never get dehydrated. There is some genetic component to this. Visit JT Clips for video responses to comments.
On your body's head.
Those leg lifts will wear you out. And then you start trying all these ways to keep your legs up. And they don't want them up like this. You know, they want them 6 inches off the deck. Very quickly, you get worn out with those. But at the same time, very quickly, you get in shape doing that. Now we're going to do some swimming. And the water is one thing that can break any man. And if you're scared of the water, I mean, have a phobia of it, it will become a problem. Now, one thing to look at there, so he's wearing his camouflage utility blouse. You think, well, it's a big deal. When you start swimming in that stuff, it's a lot harder. It's a lot heavier when it's wet. It makes the swimming harder. Now, he's got the blouse on. Eventually, I'm sure there'll be the trousers, then the boots, and a rifle. All that makes swimming a shit ton harder because those things get bogged down and wet. And you're not as aerodynamic or something. It just makes it a lot harder than swimming without a camouflage utility top on. And if you're used to holding your nose underwater and you have to, either get used to water coming through your nose into your throat or don't do it because you can't hold your nose jumping in underwater. I know some people, that's a thing, but you're going to very quickly learn you cannot do that. You know, one thing they're lucky for right here is they have a rubber rifle. So they're on this exercise. They had a regular rifle. The amount of cleaning you have to do when you're done with the exercise will take hours, and you never think it'll take that long. When you're done, you just want to dump the rifle off, clean it up, and go back and be off, right? But the last thing you do is clean your weapons. And it's the last thing you want to do. It just can take so incredibly long. So he's lucky to have that rubber rifle. It'll make, when you're done with the exercise, a lot easier. Now, all this roping in, fast roping, all this type of training, during the day, no problem. It's flat. Typically, you're doing it at night in real life. It's not going to be on flat terrain always. So the training is important to figure out, okay, it's nighttime. I'm on the side of a hill. There's trees. You know, the complexity level of this stuff gets a lot greater. And I'm sure they'll do it further down in training or in selection where, okay, now we're going to do it at night. Now we're going to do it where there's trees. Now we're going to do it in a full combat load. Now we're going to do when there's high gusty winds. I mean, all this stuff can add a complexity, and most people get hurt in the military in training exercises, not in combat. One critical element about PJs, go back to what the role is, 38 weeks combat medic course they take. I mean, I understand it's about a 3-year pipeline from start to finish. Their job is to get into terrible places, but ultimately help another downed warrior, right? That's their job. They spend a lot of time doing the medicine, but all the time figuring this other stuff out. We'll call it the SF part of it in order to get there. So it's critical they get there. One of these guys could save 5 people's lives. So it's not like one guy going down. They probably represent 5 or 6 potential guys because of what they do for their job. The original intent of the PJs was around World War II when 2 of them jumped in to Indochina to get some downed pilots. So the original intention was downed pilots and astronauts. Well, downed pilots in World War II, and then later astronauts when they were laying their capsules in the ocean. So they had to know how to swim, jump in, whether it be by parachute, fast rope, whatever. And then you see, ultimately get somebody, stabilize them, and get them back. They have one of the more high responsibility jobs just because they're high value targets they're trying to save, or high value assets in this case. What do you think the hardest part of PJ training would be for you? Let me know in the comments.